Hi, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. My name is Josh Albrecht, and with me, as always, is...
Hey, it's Josh Albrecht.
That's right, Josh Albrecht and Josh Albrecht, and we are very excited to have on our guest today, the CEO of the American Volleyball Coaches Association, Jaime Gordon. Jaime, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Now, I need to start, as I usually do, getting to know more about you, but it is Dr. Jaime Gordon.
Yes.
I love that. Explain.
Yeah. It's kind of embarrassing. No, I got my doctorate in educational leadership and focused on coaching education. But I was working at university, and I was in a meeting with some other professors, and one of them said, I had corrected another person, said, no, it's Dr. Johnson. And that just got me and super competitive. I was like, screw that, I get one of those. And so I did. It was kind of the thing that pushed me over. So competitiveness and maybe even a little pettiness kind of drove me into that level of education.
If I could be Dr. Josh
So
Albrecht.
the question though is, do you always correct people now? You're like,
no,
doctor.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm actually feel a little embarrassed when people.
Oh, please.
People
I would
call me
be
that.
just so annoying. I would be like, I would make business cards just so that people would know. Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots
That
of
would be a great
correcting.
way to separate us, too. Maybe
Oh,
one
yeah.
of us should get our doctorates.
On it.
There you go.
No,
If I've learned anything already from this
Right.
episode, it's, hey, if you want to be a doctor,
Right. This is a good reason
this
why.
is the reason why.
So, Jaime, tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are as the CEO of the AVCA.
Yeah. I'm right now a recovering coach. I had a long career. That's not what I wanted to do in college. I wanted to be an architect and did my education in architecture, but also started coaching volleyball. I played club volleyball as well, and had this opportunity to go and start coaching at a Division II school in West Virginia. Followed that and was lucky enough to have some stops at University of Kentucky, and then a long career at Morehead State. 16 years into that, our athletics director took another job, and president called me in, asked if I would be the interim athletics director as they try to figure things out. Then about 3 months later came in and said, hey, I think you're doing a great job. Why don't we take this interim tag off and you be the AD? And I told him, I said, hey, Doc, I'm not sure that I want to give up coaching. So he said, why don't you come back, give me a plan on how you can do both. So for 4 years, I served both as a Division I athletics director and volleyball coach. And that was quite a lift, had some great staff around me, and then had an opportunity to step into this position as the CEO of the American Volleyball Coaches Association. Funny thing is that my predecessor was actually the person who I was a student assistant for at the University of Kentucky years and years ago, Kathy DeBoer. And so she was retiring and asked if I would consider following her, and things worked out, and been in this position now for 3 years and couldn't be happier.
So obviously a huge passion with volleyball, right? It's, I'm assuming, 170% of your life, maybe. Tell me about kind of how that passion came to be, and you went, I want volleyball to be part of what I'm doing on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think, when you get into coaching, a lot of people do. It's a transformational profession. You have the opportunity to impact on people. When you do it at the college level, it's at maybe one of the most transformational times of their development, of going from high school and then into the adult world. And so, as a coach, you get to do that on a very micro level, on a one-on-one basis, and then having the opportunity to be athletics director, you do that at a little larger scale across, multiple teams. We had 17 sports at Morehead State when I was the AD there. So now you're impacting, a little bit larger population. And then now I get to, help and serve an entire sport at the women's level, the men's level, beach, from helping at the pro through college and all the way down to youth. So, you get a little bit shallower. You don't have the opportunity to really impact people on that individual basis, but probably at a larger scale. And so it's been real rewarding in that way.
I would think that your education and your desire to be an architect played heavily into being a coach, though, too, right? The building of a
100%.
team, the seeing how the parts all put together, how they're going to develop and then be executed in the end. It was sort of the same mental capacity in many ways.
Yeah, I had this one very interesting lesson when I was in an architecture studio. I was working on this model and maybe put, I don't know, 35, 40 hours into it. And I kind of got stuck. And my professor got up on a chair and he hung it from the ceiling. And he said, okay, work on this for the next week. And so I put in another 34, hours or so. He cut it down, put it on the floor. He said, hey, now work on it. And so I did, and it changed. And he said, you've just been looking at it from one perspective. And so when you're coaching, it's real easy to see your perspective as a coach. But the challenge to look at it from the athlete side, from a parent side, from an administrator side. And so I think that lesson on perspective really has probably served me as well as anything, and would never change that architecture background at all.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so it's going from being an AD dealing with, as you said, 17 different sports teams across, I assume, men and women's.
Men's, women's, football, basketball, you name it. Yeah.
To just volleyball.
Yeah.
And then doing that with the coaches, right? Because you're the CEO of the American Volleyball Coaches Association. There's so many aspects to this. I want to talk about not only your roles within the AVCA, but what the AVCA can do and how it ties back to Milwaukee when we come back on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Joshing Around Milwaukee. Josh Albrecht here, Josh Albrecht there, Dr. Jaime Gordon alongside, CEO of the American Volleyball Coaches Association. And Jaime, before the break, teased a whole bunch of stuff, but tell us just about the American Volleyball Coaches Association, what it does and what it is.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I even still have difficulty explaining exactly even to my family about what it is that I do and we do. But, our association serves the sport of volleyball with coaches at the heart of what we're doing. And, my perspective and the way that I've kind of tried to lead the association over the last 3 years is kind of like an analogy of water, okay? If there's a void in the sport, we're going to fill that. If there's an area of the sport that's being served, we'll pass over that. There's no need to duplicate or compete. And so that's something that I've tried to do, in the leadership of this, is to try to fill those voids, to serve the sport as much as possible, but also keep, that coach's perspective and what we do in that profession, at the heart of our efforts.
And so with that, you guys also have the AVCA First Serve, which is part of the AVCA. What is First Serve?
Yeah, so First Serve, years ago, there was an AVCA showcase, and it was intended to try to help promote the game and get, maybe some matches on TV and try to start the season in a good way. Before I got into this position, that event kind of was, we'll call it in legislative dust for the NCAA for the last 10 years. So it hadn't been run. It just, some scheduling things had changed. And I thought it was a great opportunity for us to revive that. And so really 2.5 or 3 years ago, we were able to start it again. We did it in Louisville with 4 teams over one night. Last year, we hosted it in Lincoln, Nebraska, did 3 nights in Lincoln and then 1 to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with 10 teams participating. And this year, it's even elevated more, and we're coming here to Milwaukee in the end of August, and couldn't be more excited about it.
Yeah, August 21st through the 24th, AVCA First Serve in Milwaukee, and volleyball has exploded in popularity. I think, at least in the state, for sure. What we see through the collegiate programs and Kelly Sheffield at the University of Wisconsin is just making a legendary status of his own. But what do you think is one of the main factors of why you can see this push for volleyball being the time?
Yeah, that's a great question, and one that I get answered or gets asked a lot. And volleyball has been growing in a very organic way. It is a very unique, I think, women's sport because we don't have our male counterpart that is leading the charge. It's not like women's basketball that has the men's side of it, or even softball that has kind of baseball as that big brother. For women, volleyball is what's leading, and so what we've seen over years is just increasing growth in participation, increasing growth in attendance, and I think we're just hitting this really key moment. I think there was an accelerant that happened about 3 years ago when Nebraska, sorry for the Wisconsin fans, when Nebraska hosted an outdoor game that had 92,000 people, the most watched women's sporting event in the history of the world. And that was volleyball outside in a football stadium. They had more people watching the volleyball game than they did. It broke the record for the venue too. So it's more than the football team had brought in. And so you saw that as this accelerant. And then things, like First Serve, or this year they're going to be playing at Wrigley Field. There's this continued growth. So we're seeing it in all areas of the sport: participation, viewership, attendance. And I think it's, obviously I'm a little biased, but it's a dynamic sport. And when you see the athleticism being showcased by these amazing female athletes or male athletes, when you're watching the guys play, as more people get exposed to it, they're like, man, this is really exciting. There's points every single time.
The speed is
it's going. Yeah.
Wonderful. And one thing
you have you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah. One thing when we've talked in the past about this showcase event, the AVCA First Serve, is I know you and the others planning the event really want it to be elevated as a full experience for the fan, right? Like it's almost in many ways fan first, where you're saying, hey, you can come and see this amazing lineup. First off, all ranked teams, right?
Yeah.
Going into the season, including the number 1 ranked in the country. So you're going to see the cream of the crop, as well as our locals, Wisconsin and Marquette, on there too. So you're getting the best college athletes coming to Milwaukee, all in one showcase, and this fan-first experience of high production value. Fan Fest going to be taking place at Fiserv. Great venue. I know the venue is one of the reasons why y'all wanted to come to Milwaukee. And us fans of the Bucks and of Marquette basketball know beautiful venue to watch sports in. So you're going to get this great competition and a perfect venue, perfect place to come in August to see.
Yeah, and Josh, I appreciate the comment about our efforts to make this a first-class sporting event, not just a first-class volleyball event, but a first-class sporting event. And actually, Kelly Sheffield had made the comment to me, and I've actually quoted it and now using it in some of our promotions. But he was sharing, this is the best collection of collegiate volleyball talent ever. Like when you think about the 10 teams that are coming in, the 4 returning teams from the Final Four last year, your national champion returning, all of these, this level is super high. And then our job, it will be on Fox, it will be on ESPN. So we've got major networks that'll be doing a joint production. The lighting and what we will do in venue will be elevated above any other volleyball event. So we're trying to really kind of raise the bar and, again, serve the sport, show that, hey, this is going to be a production like somebody would be used to if they went to a Bucks game. Mm-hmm. But a Bucks in the playoffs or the Bucks in the finals, like that type of elevated event. And that's how we want to start off the season, with this great push and bang. And we really believe that the Wisconsin fans, and not just the Badger fans, but the Wisconsin sports fans are really going to appreciate, I think, what we have in store for them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, it's a great opportunity to not only learn more about volleyball, go see a lot of just really talented athletes perform at the highest level in their sport, but also, like, what a great opportunity to go to a good venue and see, get some inspiration for your daughter or your sons to see, and put that on display. Of this isn't just you going to see at your local high school. Like, this is the same that you would go and get inspired by seeing an NBA star, you're seeing the same thing on a volleyball court.
Yeah, there's the athletes on that court, but then also the way that they represent themselves, their schools, their sports, their family, the competition. There's some Olivia Babcock, who plays at Pitt, will be there. She's 2-time reigning player of the year. She's also an amazing woman and great friends with people on the other teams because they're competing with each other in the national team programs and in those gyms and stuff. And so there's this real good, strong sense and healthy sense of community within that. Now, don't take it lightly. They're going to be competing against each other and trying to, do everything they can to stop their opponents. But it's something too that families are going to feel good about and see this very high level. And I think that's the other part is that it's truly, and it's funny, I had a conversation with a gentleman in Nebraska last year, and he was saying, hey, I love this, the stats and everything like that. He goes, but you know what, some of this music and some of this lighting I don't need. And I told him, I said, that's great, but it's not for you. He's like, what do you mean it's not for me? I said, well, who did you come with? He's like, well, I came with my wife and my kids. I was like, yeah, some of that's for them and some of that's for you. And it's kind of like a Pixar movie. There's jokes that go over your kids' heads and hit you. And you're like, man, that's awesome. And that's what we're trying to make sure that we're creating is an event that serves young kids, parents, older generation, and there's going to be a little something for everybody. And there'll probably be something that, doesn't quite hit with you, but that's
It'll hit
it's going to hit somewhere else. Exactly.
The AVCA First Serve, August 21st through the 24th, is going to be an amazing time. We're going to tell you how you can be a part of it and learn more information when we come back on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Joshing Around Milwaukee. We're having an awesome time talking with Dr. Jaime Gordon, the CEO of the AVCA, and the AVCA First Serve that is coming to Pfizer Forum on August 21st through the 24th. And, Jamie, how can people learn more information and get their tickets for the event?
Sure. You do a simple Google search and go AVCA tickets. It's going to pop up. You can go to Ticketmaster. You can go to Pfizer. You can go to avca.org. We have a whole event page there that will give a little bit additional information, some stuff about matchups, some stuff about our block party, which is kind of our fan fest that will be right outside in the Deer District, before the matches. So there's a lot of information, but there's a lot of places, but tickets can be found on Ticketmaster.
Yeah, I love the idea of the block party too. It's not just an event like, you pay your ticket, you go, you see it. It's literally billing out your whole day. This isn't just maybe we can go and squeeze. There's literally something for you to do up until the event and having a great time right there in the Deer District.
And there's several sessions, multiple days. So that's what's really exciting about this. Not just one day, but multiple days, 4 days total.
Yeah.
And you can buy single session tickets, so just one matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have multi-match packages available?
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything available. Some great seats, some affordable spaces. So I think a little something for everyone. Anybody thinking about, I'll just give from a coach's perspective, end zones are a great place to watch the game. You get to see the whole game kind of spread out. So if you ever watch a game, you'll see the coaches in the end zones because that's the way they kind of consume. A lot of fans prefer to be on the center court. So if you want a little insight, try one of the days out on the end zones.
I love that little inside scoop. No, I think this is a brilliant thing. It's just another thing that I think is a feather in the cap of Milwaukee being able to host an event like this and also continue growing a sport along the way. I think it's a win-win-win.
That's huge. And just one real quick again, run through some of the key universities coming here.
Yeah, so we've got the Badgers kind of as an anchor. They'll be playing on Friday and Saturday. We've got the University of Kentucky, so they'll be actually kicking off the season against who kind of knocked them out in the Final Four, so which was an exciting 5-setter. We've got Texas A&M, University of Louisville, Pitt, who's been to the Final Four, I think, the last 4 years. We've got Arizona State, who's done a fantastic job of being in the top 10 the last couple of years, SMU, and then Marquette and Xavier, as well as, I get in trouble if I don't say the Texas Longhorns. They've got an unbelievable team. So, I think you're looking at, really 8 of the top 10 teams that are going to be here in Milwaukee starting off the season. I can't wait just as a volleyball nerd.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting.
It is going to be exciting. And again, avca.org or Ticketmaster or going to Pfizer Forum is where you can get those tickets and more information. August 21st through the 24th. Thank you again so much, Jamie, for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
All right, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. For more information on Joshing Around, you can go to visitmilwaukee.org. All right, everyone, thanks again so much for watching this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. If you're seeing this part of the show, it's because you're doing so on one of Visit Milwaukee's social media channels, and we really do appreciate it. We're having a great time with Jaime Gordon, the CEO of the American Volleyball Coaches Association. And, Jamie, this is a part of the show when Josh asks the big question. Josh,
That's right.
take it away.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you here. And Jimmy, as I know you've been planning this event, you've jokingly said Milwaukee's probably become a second home for you as you have to learn all the ins and outs of the city as you plan this great event for the community. So we like to say Milwaukee has a ton of good energy right now. We call this energy Fresh City Vibes. So what is giving you Fresh City Vibes right now when you make your visits here to Milwaukee?
Man, it's like you guys hit my three vices like all the time. You love your beer. You love your cheese, you love your sports. So I'm happiest in those three spaces. And I don't know.
Me too.
I don't know. There's a lot
yeah.
of people that are doing it as well in any of those three things. I'm from New York, so I will say that maybe our sports are a little bit better, but you beat us in beer and cheese. I'll give you that.
All right.
And the best beer you've had? You have a favorite?
You know,
can you pick
man,
a favorite? I know it's hard.
I had a great time at Lakeview Brewery.
Yeah.
Like, that was a really cool experience.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the beer, but just the you want to talk about fresh vibes. That was unique. And I've been to other breweries and distilleries, and it was it's one that I will actually go back.
Great cheese curds at Lakefront as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you talk about if you want your beer and your cheese, Lakefront is we'll just be the best of both.
And they got their TVs, and so you can watch some sports. At the same
That's
time.
right. And I don't know if we've give you a couple other cheese recommendations. So, cheese curd, your favorite cheese curd, if he hasn't experienced it yet.
I will give you my underrated cheese curd because this is the one that I would say there are a ton of local spots and they're all great. Do not sleep on Cousins cheese curds.
Okay.
Cousins subs.
Isaac, our producer, is
I don't
big
know
thumbs
what
up.
was happening, but I just saw something
Yes.
crazy over there when you said Cousins.
I'm telling you, like everyone goes, the sandwich place? And I go, yes, I understand. It's Cousins subs. Their cheese curds are fantastic.
All right.
There you go. So make sure you get Cousins on your list.
It is there. It is now at the top.
Yep.
And then I'm going to tell you a sleeper if you want a variation. You're like, I need cheese curds for breakfast or brunch. Mm-hmm. Head to Black Sheep in Walker's Point, and they do pancake battered cheese curds.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it is okay to eat a fried cheese curd for brunch.
Yeah, that's
Black
a game
Sheep.
changer for sure.
So we'll get you there.
All right. I'm excited.
Yeah, August 25th, I think, will be the
That's
day
right.
when you're hitting that one.
That morning, I'll be ready.
That's right. That's right. All right, Jamie, thank you again so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
All right. I had a blast. Thanks, guys.
All right, and thank you again for joining us on this episode of Joshing Around. As I mentioned before, you can find out more information on Joshing Around Milwaukee at visitmilwaukee.org. We'll see you next time.
Two Joshes are better than one.